Queen Latifah is undoubtedly one of the most successful and decorated artists of all time, with her achievements spanning between both movie and music industry. But believe it or not, she didn't always have it this easy. She grew up in a very traumatic household, and some of the struggles she faced were so bad that she almost gave up. But despite the obstacles she faced, she still made it to the top and has secured a lot of accolades for herself, including a Grammy, Golden Globe, Oscar nomination, a Hollywood Walk of Fame, and millions of records sold worldwide. But despite all these accolades, she still struggles with her past trauma and has been through countless procedures to help her cope.
You talked about your brother a little bit, and we all know that you've had that loss. I would imagine that was an awful time for you.
Losing my brother, that was a devastating time for me.
So, Queen Latifah was born Dana Owens and was raised in New Jersey along with her brother Lance Owens and their parents, Rita Owens and Lancelot Owens. Queen's struggles begin when her dad, Lancelot Owens, was sent out as one of the soldiers in the Vietnam War. After he came back, Lancelot started abusing all types of drugs in order to cope, coupled with severe mental issues. They struggled financially and were constantly scrambling to make ends meet. This led Queen to getting involved in the street life and illegal activities when she was just a teenager in order to make money. In a candid interview with the New York Times, Queen said he wasn't there at some points financially when we could have used his help. Vietnam had a lot to do with that, and he was dealing with a drug problem at the time. Her father's struggles ended up affecting her family, which eventually led to her mom divorcing him when she was just 8 years old. Her mom started working multiple jobs to provide for their family until she finally trained and secured a stable job as a high school teacher. Apart from that, she also went through a very traumatic event when she was SA'd at the age of 5 by a teenage babysitter who was supposed to be taking care of her. But just like the cases of most SA victims, she felt scared and alone and decided not to tell anyone what she had been through. During a 2009 interview with Essence magazine, Queen said, "He violated me. I never told anybody. I just buried it as deep as I could, and I kept people at arm's distance. I never really let a person get too close to me. I could have been married years ago, but I had commitment issues." She kept it all to herself to the age of 22 when she finally told her parents what she went through. "I had to get it off my chest. My mother felt terrible. She was kind of a country girl, so she went up on how slick people could be. When I told my dad, he said nothing." But that was not the only thing she had to deal with while growing up. She revealed during a sit-down interview on the Ellen DeGeneres show that both she and her brother used to get bullied a lot at school.
Because when I was bullied, when my brother was bullied as kids, we kind of kept it to ourselves. We tried to handle it on our own, and sometimes it got out of control. Like, I literally remember having a fight with a guy who was bullying my brother because I wasn't afraid of the guy.
However, she was the one who used to get bullied the most, especially because she was a big girl. A lot of people used to fat shame her and call her all sorts of names because of how she looked. In an interview with US Weekly, she said, "One thing I was self-conscious about was my breast. I thought they were so big." Unfortunately for her, the fat shaming followed her into adulthood, especially when she became an actress. Now, y'all know Hollywood loves forcing these unrealistic beauty standards on women. That's why a lot of actresses go on extreme diets and sometimes even undergo dangerous procedures to fit these standards. The bullying in high school caused her to have self-esteem issues and started affecting the decisions and the crowd she started hanging out with. In her 1999 memoir titled Ladies First, Revelations of a Strong Woman, she opened up about one of the darkest moments in her life when she slept with a 40-year-old man for $50 when she was just 16. According to Queen, she was really traumatized, and it's still something that haunts her till this day. While in high school, Queen almost fell in the same pit hole her dad was in when she started taking substances to cope with everything she was going through. It got so bad that she eventually started to sell drugs to other people for some extra cash. She later described it in her memoir as one of the scariest and craziest thing she had ever done in her life. But her struggles were far from over. In 1992, her whole world came crashing down when she tragically lost her brother Lance to a motorcycle accident just a few weeks after gifting him the motorcycle. According to People magazine, Lance collided with another car when he tried to make a turn. Queen later opened up about how much the loss of her brother affected her by saying, "My life was rocked to the core, and I felt guilty because I was angry at God. Lance was not there for me to share it with, and I was thinking, well, I don't need this. I'd rather have my brother back." And just a few years after this, Queen was hit with another traumatic incident in her life when she was carjacked at gunpoint. According to reports, she was in the car with her friend Lynn Mayo and her bodyguard Sean Moon while waiting for another group of friends who were behind them. Two boys, Ricardo Rodriguez and Rasheen Fortune, then attacked them with a loaded gun, ordering them to get out. They all did as they were told, but for some reason, one of the boys turned around and shot her bodyguard before driving away. Right after the boys sped off, Queen quickly stopped a cab and rushed Sean to the hospital. However, this incident traumatized her deeply, so she started to carry a weapon with her everywhere she went for protection. In fact, she was arrested just a year later for carrying a loaded pistol and possession of marijuana, y'all. According to the LA Times, the CHP officer who made the stop smelled marijuana on her and asked her if she had been smoking, and she said yes. She was sentenced to 3 years of informal probation and ordered to pay $300 in fines. She was also told to participate in an alcohol education program. Queen later told Good Housekeeping that she took refuge in self-medication and alcohol to cope with what happened. She said, "Drinking a bunch of alcohol, numbing myself every day, I would be faded. I wasn't living my full life." Queen was hit with another huge loss in her life when she lost her mom, Rita Owens, to heart disease. News of Rita being ill actually started to circulate on the internet back in 2013, but Queen denied it all and called the reports false. However, in 2015, both Rita and Queen appeared in a joint interview with People magazine, where Rita revealed she had been struggling with heart failure for 11 years. According to People magazine, Rita had a defibrillator implanted in her chest and required oxygen 24/7 to help her cope with the disease. But despite all the attempts to keep Rita's health struggles under control, she passed away at the age of 69 in March 2018 after 14 years of battling with heart failure. In an official statement released to Essence magazine, Queen said, "It is with a heavy heart that I share the news that my mother, Rita Owens, passed away today. She had struggled with a heart condition for many years, and her battle is now over. I am heartbroken, but I know she is at peace." And despite the millions of people watching her on TV all the time and listening to her music, a lot of people were not aware of how much pain and suffering she had been enduring just to get here. One person praised her resilience by saying, "Man, I didn't know about her struggles in life or the loss of her dear brother. I was just simply enjoying her achievements. My heart goes out to her." Another person also said, "Learning of Queen's life struggles and tribulations just makes me have that much more respect and love for her. Strong, beautiful, and amazing woman. You're an inspiration for many women around the world. Keep shining." As of now, it looks like Queen is finally beginning to catch a break from all the pain in her life, as it's being reported that she and her partner, Ebony Nichols, are now parents to a baby boy called Rebel. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about all the traumatic struggles of Queen? Do you think it helped to shape her into the woman she is today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to click here and watch another cool video.